For the month of October, I decided to dedicate this whole month to the Halloween franchise. In this video, I will be reviewing Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. The reason why I'm combining it is because there's not much to really say about the second one, so that one's going to be pretty quick. If you are a huge Michael Myers fan, you're either really gonna love Rob Zombie's franchise or you really hate it. I will say in the beginning when I first saw it, I really hated it, but as time went on, my appreciation for the franchise grew a tiny bit. I respect Rob Zombie's vision and his style. I love watching his interviews and his backstory. I find him very interesting. So I think that's where my appreciation grew for his franchise. But in the beginning, I hated it. I disliked it. I remember renting it from Blockbuster because I was not able to see it in the movie theater. I remember being so excited to watch it, and then I was disappointed after I watched it because I felt like it was too brutal, and Michael Myers was more human in this. And that was me as a young kid, and I've still felt this way about Michael Myers. I do not like when you try to humanize him. Now, in the beginning of the movie, like 40 minutes of this film is Michael's backstory. We know in most serial killers, they are interested in harming animals. We do see this in the film. We see him killing a small animal. We see pictures of it. That was really hard to digest. It sets the tone that Michael Myers is just a human with severe mental issues instead of someone with no soul, just pure darkness on the inside, as in the Shape. We also see how hard his family life is. He has an evil stepfather, a mom who is a stripper, and I'm not dogging that at all, but as a kid who gets bullied every day because of it, that must be hard for Michael Myers. His sister is not the nicest to him. She's just some teenage girl who just wants to hang out with her boyfriend. And in the opening scene, it's uncomfortable to watch because Rob Zombie wants his audience to feel uncomfortable, and he definitely gives off a white, trashy tone in his films. That's what he wants, and I think he really succeeds at that. I think Rob Zombie's style in film is very unique and is true to his style. When you see a Tim Burton film, you go, that's Tim Burton. When you see a Rob Zombie film, you go, yep, that's Rob Zombie. And I think his style is shown throughout this film, but not like A House of a Thousand Corpses or The Devil Rejects. I think it's very subtle in the Halloween franchise, his Halloween franchise. Sometimes it's overdone with the kills, but I think after watching his other films, Halloween is probably his best one if you don't like his other films. But another thing I don't like about the first 40 minutes of his backstory is the fact that it just shows a young Michael Myers. He kills a kid, he kills a bully brutally, which was hard to watch because I was a huge Spy Kids fan and this kid was in Spy Kids. Just seeing him being murdered was not a good feeling. Yes, we don't like bullies, but it was definitely overkill. And then Michael Myers goes back to being a normal kid. He goes back to being a mama's boy. He wants to go trick-or-treating. His stepfather's not taking him. His mom has to work. His sister Judith was supposed to take him, but she wants to go upstairs with her boyfriend instead. So Michael Myers ends up going trick-or-treating by himself, and is this what tips him off? Because when he's sitting at the kitchen table with all of his candy, he just seems bored. Killing his bully didn't set him off into immediately killing other people. It was like he just did it out of boredom. It didn't feel like all that rage inside of him drove him to kill. And then he just kills his stepfather, his sister Judith, and her boyfriend. And then he goes outside with his little sister Angel, who eventually will be Laurie, and he just waits for his mom. It didn't feel like someone with no soul. It just seemed like a bored kid. And then I really didn't like when he went to Smith Grove. Dr. Loomis, who's played by Malcolm McDowell, is interviewing him. And Malcolm was in Clockwork Orange, and that movie traumatized me. Anytime I hear Singing in the Rain, I go la 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 la. I just can't. It traumatized me. But him as a Dr. Loomis is not my favorite. I just think he seemed very theater-like instead of a serious psychiatrist or whatever his profession is in this. And Michael, again, just seemed like a bored kid. He wanted to go home. He had no desire to take accountability for what he did. He said he didn't remember. And then after Michael Myers' mom takes her own life, is that what makes him into the adult Michael Myers, into the mindset of pure darkness on the inside? Is that what made him snap and not want to talk to anybody? Was it the voices in his head? What was it? Because it wasn't really explained in the movie, and that transition into adulthood wasn't really clear to me. And then adult Michael Myers at Smith Grove, it seemed like the escape was so easy. He just took out a few guards, and then he kills the guard that was nice to him. I'm just talking about the theatrical release. I know there was a director's cut. I did not see that. I know that has a different scene for the escape scene. So I just saw the one where he just took out the guards and bounced. And I know Rob Zombie wanted to have the first movie be about his childhood and how he became Michael Myers. And then the second one was going to be adult Michael Myers and Laurie Strode and all that. Again, they were like, nope, you're not doing that. And I know Rob Zombie had a hard time filming the Halloweens because the Weinstein brothers were down his neck creatively, and that must have been hard and frustrating. And I wonder what it would have looked like if they gave him full control over his films. Probably would have been really, really dark and involve very sexually motivating Michael Myers instead of The Shape. So adult Michael Myers in this is scary. Tyler Mane, the actor who plays him, is huge. I think he's like 6'9". And I think him being in this is great because he's terrifying. If that Michael Myers came after me, I would just give up. I'm 5 foot. He could easily just stomp on me and that would be the ending. The actors in this were familiar. You have Dee Wallace, which I've met in person. Super nice, so kind. She is from Cujo and E.T., so it was nice seeing her play Laurie Strode's mom in this, and it was hard seeing her die. Then you have Sheriff Brackett, which is Annie's father, who's played by the voice of Chucky, and he was also in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, one of my personal favorites. Annie is played by Danielle Harris, who is young Jamie in the cult Halloween franchise, so it was exciting to see her play Annie in this. And I didn't like Linda's character in this. She seemed a little bit whiny, like wanting Laurie's attention the most instead of a nice friend group. It just seemed divided and Laurie was being pulled into the two fronts. You know what I'm saying? There were a lot of chase scenes in this, Michael going after Laurie for a very long time. And it's like he instantly knows that this is his sister. Don't know how he knows that. Is this just a vibe? Is it the voices in his head? And her being chased in the Myers house, him stomping the floors to get her out, that was scary. Her falling into the empty pool, terrifying. The chase scenes were good in this. I did really like that. Her taking the kids into the bathroom, Michael Myers coming through that glass door, scary. So overall, I will say the chase scenes were probably my favorite part of the first one. The acting, not so much, and the dialogue, especially between Sheriff Brackett and Dr. Loomis, just seemed a little bit cheesy and not realistic. In the end of the film, you see a struggle and a fight between Myers and Laurie after he's able to catch up with her. They fall off the balcony of the Myers house. It is alluded that she shoots him in the face and she begins to scream. I like how the beginning of the film she's screaming as a baby and the ending she's screaming. I thought that was a nice touch, kind of like a foreshadowing. The first one I think holds up well. Again, I can appreciate it as a Rob Zombie film. Do I want to watch it? No. Did I bring it to a sleepover because my friends asked me to bring the Halloween movie over? No, I did not. I bought the original 1978 one, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, oh, this one sucks. Why didn't you bring this one? I'm like, because that one sucks. How could you not like the 1978 one? But I was not the cool girl, I guess. As for Halloween 2, nope. Did not like it. I liked the first 10 minutes of it in the hospital scene where she is being chased in the rain. The hospital staff was being murdered. That was scary. I wish they did more of the hospital scene. But no, they decided to go a different route of her being a struggling victim. The filming was much different in this. It was more grainy and dark, and I didn't like that. The kills in this were definitely more brutal. Annie was being murdered, and that was sad. You begin to like her character in this. The ending felt rushed. All of a sudden, they're in this little house. Finally, the cops caught up to him. He kills Loomis, and then she comes out with the mask, and now she becomes evil. And then the white ghost and the mom being a dark angel or white horse, it was all not explained well, and it just felt weird and rushed. You also saw Tyler Mane's face in this. You could hear Michael Myers killing. And again, they humanized him in this, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that you could see him and hear him, and then he would take his mask off and then put it back on. Did not enjoy it. I wish they went a different route, stuck to the hospital scene. I thought that would have been cool. Yeah, I will say I prefer the first one over the second one. I know he probably wanted to get it over with. He knows people didn't like the first one, even though it was a huge success in the box office. But I think he knew it left people disappointed. He wanted out of the contract to make more Halloweens. You know, working with the Weinsteins was very difficult. And so maybe that's why the second one sucked. He was just over it. But that is it for me today. I know it was a little all over the place, but it was only fair to cover the Rob Zombie franchise. I think it holds up for a Rob Zombie film. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like the Rob Zombie Halloween? I know there are some diehard fans out there. I respect it, you know? But that is going to be it for me today. I will see you guys next week. I have a special guest coming on. I hope you guys stay safe out there. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you soon.